Is your dog dragging you down the street on your walks? Well, you probably use and tried different kinds of equipment, and none of them are really working for you, maybe. You've had some trainers and they taught you to maybe pop the leash, or you've gotten exasperated, and basically at this point, you just hold the leash really short next to you to make sure your dog isn't dragging you down the street. Does this sound like you and your dog? So, my name is Linda Kwan. I am the owner and trainer at Wow Bow Wow. I specialize in working with families with family dogs, companion dogs, whether they be young puppies, like babies, 2 to 4 month old, adolescents, the teen dogs, the wild child dogs. Or maybe you have a mature dog or a newly adopted dog. And you want to help them learn how to cope in our world, to be well-mannered, well-behaved, and well-adjusted. So back to walking on a leash and having an easier walk. So, like I said, you may have tried a couple of these different methods, but oh my gosh, none of them are working for you. So maybe you're at a point where you're just maybe not walking them that often, or holding the leash really tight next to you and bracing yourself to make sure you don't fall over. So let me ask you a question. Do they even look at you on your walks? When you call their name, can you get their attention? It may not be the case. Let me show you a video real quickly on a walk, the type of walk I do with my dogs. And let me show you something that I would like for you to practice with your dogs. It's called check-ins. Hold on, let me get to the video again. So, do you get any eye contact from your dogs? Any check-ins? See how they are both looking back at me every once in a while on our walks? They don't have to be staring at me the whole time. And they can be ahead of me, behind me, next to me, as long as they are keeping the leash loose. I don't have to grip it so hard. Is this what you would like your walks to look like too? Now, most likely, like I mentioned, you probably had trainers maybe that taught you to do it this way, or you watch videos, YouTube videos. But like I mentioned, these check-ins, with my clients, I may give them several kinds of suggestions on how to teach their dog to walk on leash. But one of the tips that I ask everyone to practice is the check-ins. I know that it may seem like, oh, what a pain in the, where to be working with your dog and asking to check in. But I'm telling you, it's not that hard. You can call their name, like in the backyard. If they look at you, give them a reward. Then, if they do that really well, then try it out on your walks. Now, the second thing that I notice and that you may not realize is people don't understand that dogs may walk at a different pace than us. If your dog is off leash, and if you were actually trying to run against them, who do you think is going to win? They are. They're so much faster in most cases. And secondly, they don't walk in a straight line a lot of times, unless they're beelining for something up ahead. But usually they wander maybe off to the right or left, smelling this, checking that out. So when you automatically expect them to walk at your own pace, the same pace you do, and to know that on a leash that they could be at a different pace, which means if they're like going at maybe, a couple of kilometers per, I'm sorry, different metrics, a little bit different pace than you are, of course, with the leash, it feels like they're pulling you. So what I suggest in the next week or so is to actually practice the walking on leash and asking them to check in with you. Start in a quiet area, practicing them looking at you and rewarding them. It could be with just a good boy, good girl, or it could be with food and treats. But the more you do that, the more likely on your walks they'll start checking in with you. And once they do that, most likely they'll be hanging out with you. And then, you know what? You can have that much easier, much smoother walks where you don't have to be gripping them so hard on a short leash to keep them with you. Now, you can keep doing what you're doing, but are you going to wait until they actually pull you over another time? If you are looking for more help, I have different kinds of programs. And after I finish this live, what I'm going to do is drop the link to our local programs, and you can check them out. Or else, you can DM me. You can DM me and ask me about the different programs I have. But it's not that hard to teach your dog to walk nicely with you. The check-ins, just start with at least the check-ins. And soon, you'll have a much easier walk like you saw on my video with my Jill and Danny. All right, thank you for joining me for my Training Tip Tuesday, and I will see you next Tuesday.